What's going on, guys? It's Wednesday night again, and here we are on Squadron's Wednesday Night Live. I hope everybody is having a great week. We have been having a really good week. It's kind of wet around here. It's been raining quite a bit, but that's all right. I'd rather the rain than the snow, like some of my buddies up north of here are having this evening. But it is what it is, right? So we've got so much new stuff that's come in this week. It's uh, kind of a little crazy. I don't know if you saw the email that I sent out earlier, but showed a few things there. But then over on the website, and we'll jump in there in a minute, and I'll show you. There were so many new things that had to add to the website. I didn't even get a chance to get all the pictures on, and I thought about keeping them hidden, but I'm like, this is a lot of stuff. These guys need to know that we've got it in case that you want to buy one. Sometimes you don't have to have a picture to know if there's a certain item that you've been expecting and looking forward to. You want it. You already know what it looks like. You already know what to expect. So I thought I'll just add them to the site that way, and we'll go from there. But tomorrow, that's my job, is getting some pictures on over the next day or two and getting all that up to date. But man, there's a lot of stuff. Let's jump over here in the live chat and see what everybody's up to tonight. Joseph's here. How are you, buddy? What is the largest scale Fokker D1 or DR1? That is the triplane. Ming did one actually in 1/24th scale, and I am fairly confident that is discontinued. Ming and Tacom and all these kinds of brands that you see coming out these days, they're doing really short production runs. We've talked about this from time to time on the show before, and that particular plane, as far as I know, is not one that is currently in production. But Ming, however, they do re-releases and reproductions from time to time on things. So they've got the tooling, so I know it's not gone forever. It's just a matter of when they pull those molds out and do another production run. It's a nice kit. They also do a 32 scale one, I believe, but that 24 scale one is pretty big. And as far as the ME 109s and the P51s, let's see. So is there kits available? So the twin one, I think, but the P51, if you're looking for a large scale one, of course, there's the Trumpeter 24 scale one is pretty big. But then if 32 scale is large enough for you, Edward is actually doing a brand new tooling P51 in 32 scale later this year, hopefully. They I don't know if you happened to see the little interview video I did with Vladimir from Edward, but he's hopeful that they can get that done perhaps by the end of the year. He kind of laughed when he said it, so I don't know if if they don't really expect it to happen or not. But we'll have to take a look and see. But shoot me an email sometime, and I will send you links on the Fokker and the information I do have about the Edward P51, but also the 24 scale one, and I'll figure out whatever 109s that I've got in large scales and tell you all about those as well. Mark is here. How are you tonight, buddy? And he is asking about our Blue Ridge models 20mm guns. They are. We'll talk about 3D stuff here in just a little while. We're finally underway, so to speak, on 3D stuff, and I've got some updates on some things that people have been asking for a long time. Figures, 20mm guns, a slew of other ship model stuff, tracks, all sorts of stuff. So we'll talk about that here in just a little while. And the Sydney from Flyhawk, no update on that yet, at least not that I have seen. They keep in mind that all the manufacturers in China, including Flyhawk, that's where they are, they do this Chinese New Year thing at the beginning of every year. And even though the Chinese New Year's, I think, only like technically a week long, I think a lot of these factories, they take a couple of weeks to get prepared for it and then take a couple of weeks to recuperate from it, I guess. I don't know. Either that or all of them kind of take different dates. I really don't know what the deal is, but nonetheless, most of the factories have kind of been out of pocket for the last several weeks, and they are all slowly but surely coming back to work here over the last week or two. But we have not heard any updates from Flyhawk on that particular kit yet. David, good to see you tonight, buddy. The HMS Victories from Neverland, they are here. They're in the building. You see one of them right. I can't point backwards. Right there. Yeah, there we go. I got them here, and we are working as quick as we can on getting all the pre-orders shipped out. With as many pre-orders that came in, it's just taken us a little extra time. So I apologize, but it will be on its way. Hopefully, fingers crossed, tomorrow or Friday. And it's a great kit. You're going to love it. Danny, good to see you tonight, buddy. How are you? I hope everything is going your way, and I hope that you also have gotten some good model building time this week. I've gotten a little bit more model building time than normal, but not really building a model. Well, I don't know how to put it. So what I've been doing is testing paint. So all this paint that we've been making, we've decided that we can, so we will. And what I mean, we can test it, so we will test it. So every single production of paint bottles, we mix up a great big old batch, and then obviously dump it from a great big old batch into these little bitty bottles. And I take a couple of these bottles from every single color now, and I come up here and I test them just to make sure that they are what they're supposed to be. I have the ability to do that, so there's no reason not to, right? So there's no surprises to you guys. And but with as many colors as there are, so this week we had I think 6 colors that no, 5 colors. One of them was a restock. We finally got the olive drab 41. That was the first color we sold out of. So it's back in stock now, by the way. Had a few people emailing about that. So 5 new colors. So I was like, I got to have something to paint all this stuff on. So I just started grabbing kits and painting them. And I pulled out my old B24 and started painting this. And I was checking the interior yellow and the interior green. Now, ignore this. This is other stuff that I was testing, different colors. I think this is, what is that? Israeli sand color. This is one of the, I think, Nakajima green, and this one down here is one of the other olive drabs. So I'm just painting random colors on random plastic just to make sure of how it works out. And if there's any issues, we go back and fix them. So in one way of thinking, I've been doing a lot more model building, but backwards from what usually happens. Here you go. There's the zinc chromate yellow and the interior green. Which one is this? This is Airfix's new B24 kit. Very nice kit, by the way. I had heard that it was very nice, and I got one for myself, but I had not really opened it up and taken a look. And after we got the yellow and the green interior colors done, and I needed something to spray them on. So I grabbed this and opened it up. This is a really, really good kit. So I'm excited to see their next release that's coming out. And surely you would think, being that this is a brand new tool, that they will have other variants of this plane down the road as well. So I'm excited to see what they do with this. Of course, this is 72 scale. And, speaking of this being 72 scale, a lot of us in here, we kind of say things like 72 scale and 48 scale, and we kind of know what that means, right? But if you could imagine, we get a lot of customers that are perhaps just getting into the hobby, or they've been out of it for a long time, or whatever, and they kind of want to get serious, and they see these things built up. Maybe they went to a model show. I don't know, whatever the case may be. And some people have no clue what scale means. And of course, you can explain it to them and whatnot. But a lot of times people just want to know, what's the difference in, for example, a B24? What's the difference in a 72 and a 48 scale? Well, considering I'm holding one of each, why don't I just show you if any of you guys are just curious? So this is a 72 scale. This is 48 scale. And Granted, the 48 scale's got the nose attached. The Airfix kit is 2 pieces, but if you line the tails up, look at that. So roughly twice the size, really, 72 versus 48. And it's and that same logic continues on. If I were to have one of the 32 scale Hobby Boss kits here, you can imagine it's even bigger. And ignore my crappy paint jobs, by the way. This is just more or less testing how the paint comes out of the airbrush, not necessarily making these things look pretty. These are not going to be contest winners by any means. I'll be lucky if they actually even get finished. But anyway, so that's just interesting things that people are always asking me. They don't. Sometimes these guys that are just getting into the hobby, they don't understand the scale and what that means. I had a customer the other day. He was asking about figures for ship models, and I forget what scale he was looking at, but oh, I know what it was. It was he wanted to do a ship for a N scale train layout, which N scale is approximately 1/60th scale, and he was wanting to get a ship model that in his mind was big enough for his layout. Now we don't really sell any warships that are 1/60th scale, so I kind of explained to him that maybe 200 scale, if he wanted a battleship, he wanted an aircraft carrier. I said 200 scale is really going to be kind of as close as I can get you, and even that's going to be too small. And he asked how big it was, and I told him how big a 200 scale. He wanted the Enterprise, is what he thought he wanted. And I told him how big that 200 scale kit was, and he was kind of blown away. He said that would almost take up his entire train layout. So sometimes things that we think about, we being the hardcore model group, we get together every Wednesday night and talk about models. So we probably know a little bit at least about scale, but some guys don't know. So it's just in the back of my mind, all these ideas that I've got for our website. And going back to Danny's comment here, the Facebook group, that was just one of the things that I've been wanting to do, is add a group where we can all get together and talk about these things. But some of the other things that I really want to do to help beginners getting into the hobby on things that we might take for granted or think it's silly to even talk about. Scale, what does it mean? Can I stick a 200 scale ship in an N scale layout and it look right? Well, it's your layout. You can do whatever you want. If you think it looks good and looks cool, that's great, but it's not to scale. But I really want to add a bunch of this kind of information to a website, whether it's the Squadron website or something like the group or whatever. So every day I'm getting these ideas. So just brainstorming with you guys. It's kind of the same concept with this paint, and Jeff will be kind of heading up this project, so to speak. But once we relaunch the scalecolors.com website, we've talked about what that's going to be as far as the treasure trove, really, of information on what to use these colors for. And one of the, going back to this hardcore group in here, if you will, we probably know things like zinc chromate yellow. We probably know what that is used for, or at least we know what it's used for. We may have to, look at our references to see exactly where it was used in each plane or whatever, right? But, imagine somebody that's never built model kits before, and they're trying to build a B-24 or B-17 or whatever they're trying to build, and they know that the inside's supposed to be yellow, but they don't have a clue that they're supposed to be looking for zinc chromate yellow. So the scalecolors.com website, it's our hope and our goal, and yes, it will take us some time to get there. But the idea is for it to basically be a big modeler's guide on what colors to use where, because one of the things that Jeff did when he started Scale Colors back years ago is he didn't use generic names. He used the actual name of whatever the color is. Like some of the colors that we sell, I can't even pronounce them. The French colors, some of the German colors, no clue how to say it. I try. It sounds funny, or I just sound dumb. I don't know. But either way, I like that though. He used the actual real color. That's the good thing. If there were a bad thing to that is it can sometimes be confusing to a beginner modeler to understand what color he may need for his model. So just one of those things that I think it's really going to be cool, and it's really going to be um, just good information because we really, I love you guys, and I love our good customer base, and I love all of our friends and everybody we see at the shows. But I want to get some more modelers building models, more people uh, into the hobby. So it'll be neat to see how it goes. It will be very cool. So, anyway, let me move down the list here. I kind of chased a rabbit there for a minute. Wayne, good to see you tonight. He's checking out the final countdown sale. Yeah, everybody make sure to look at the final countdown sale. Everything that did not sell last week, I left it on the final countdown and I marked it down again. And then I added a whole bunch of other stuff like Hasegawa. All of our Hasegawa is in there now. So make sure to go in and check out the final countdown deals. You might find something that you need. Rex, how are you tonight, buddy? Can I pass along any information on the Dora building process? If you are asking me that because you are building one, shoot me an email and let me know what you got going on. And if I am to the point that you are, I can give you any information that I've got. And there's a couple of other guys in here that can probably help as well. A couple that have actually finished the kit, unlike me. But I am happy to help where I can. Jeff, good to see you tonight, buddy. And Derek, he's going to get some of that cold I was talking about earlier. And looks like Tim is too out in Oklahoma. Randy, good to see you tonight, buddy. And I'm glad you got your Squadron belt buckle. It's a cool thing. My wife laughs at me for wearing it, but I love it. So one of you guys, I forget which one it was, gave me a pretty cool idea. I've got to get me a second one, and I want to paint it these colors, the red and the black. So we'll see how that goes. I think it'll be cool. All right, Ken, good to see you tonight, buddy. And Henry's here, and you got some cold too, buddy. Dang. Yeah, it's not that cold here, but I don't know what it's going to do. It's just raining a lot, and I know we got a lot of wind coming through. Jeff, good to see you tonight, buddy. Yeah, I know you. He was telling me earlier he's got a whole bunch of snow up there. Good to see you, Michael. And Ken, yeah, we've got a lot of new paints. We'll jump over to the website real quick, and let me show you guys a couple of things as we keep going down the list here. So one of the things that you've got to look at now is, and I'm going to keep this on the front page, I think. Click here to see the new arrivals from the week. This has been here for a while, up under here, all products, and then weekly releases. You can, the week of February 10th, this week, you can click there, but now I'm going to link to it from the home page too. There's a lot of stuff in here. Let's see. There are 5 pages of things that have come in this week, which is a little abnormal. Usually we get a few, or maybe we get a bunch, but it's a lot this time. But this, of course, is the big news, or at least for me, because I'm a ship model guy. The 350th scale Gerald R. Ford kits, they are here, and we have we've been shipping them out. And if you pre-ordered one, you probably, or at least hopefully, have a tracking number. And I have to apologize if your tracking number has not been scanned in by UPS yet. And yes, these are, I think, like 99% of our pre-orders are going UPS because these are so huge. Got a couple that are going to, like, I don't know, Hawaii and Alaska, I think, but that are post office. But all of these are UPS. Well, we've got so many going out that all the UPS trucks in the area could not carry them all for more than one day. So they claim they're going to find a bigger truck that they can bring to us tomorrow. It's so weird. Somebody was asking me just a couple of days ago, how things are going here compared to LJ. Overall, it's wonderful. Wouldn't move back. It's great, right? But it's really weird some of the things that are bad from time to time, like UPS can't get all of our stuff. Like, what does that even mean? They have tons of trucks and trailers in this area. In LJ, if everything wouldn't fit on, there were two trucks on our route. If everything wouldn't fit on one truck, the other truck would come by. If everything wouldn't fit on both of those trucks, they would make a call, and then somebody with a trailer from up the street doing other things, they would come by. It was never a problem. This is a problem here, but I think we figured out why. Yes, there's a ton of trucks here, but there's also a ton of business like us here. But the good thing is they know us now. We're on their radar, and as of today, they are bumping us up to you guys that may work for UPS or have been there, done that. You know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about, but apparently now we have been bumped up to, you know, a real customer, if you will, and I guess that means we get a more dedicated route. I don't know. It can't get worse, right? Hey, it's a good problem to have when you fill up the shipping trucks. But I'm just going ahead and letting you guys know, if you got a shipping notice or a tracking number earlier this week and it hasn't left yet, just being honest, that's why. But it is here. They're in stock, and hopefully they will all be out of here by tomorrow, or I guess Friday at the latest. So anyway, back off the rabbit trail here. That's the big news. Very excited about the Ford, but there's a lot of other cool stuff that has shown up. You know, we've been talking about these X Plus Reeboks kits for a while. Oops. They finally came in. So the creature, the revenge of the creature from the Black Lagoon. These are the exact same model kits that they released previously. The only difference is it is now in a smaller or a narrower box. This is apparently they got, I don't want to say they got backlash, but they got a lot of comments saying that that customers wished that it had been in a box the same size as the original Aurora kit. Now, this is not the original Aurora kit. This is an all new, brand new tooling, but the idea is to give that classic model kit look and feel. So the box is now the classic look and feel of a, old Aurora model kit. So that's that. And then the T-Rex from Jurassic Park, same exact model kit, but now it's in what I consider a very cool box. This is what the box should have been the whole time. I mean, if you got the original kit, or if you saw the original kit, I didn't like it. It was not pretty, especially compared to this. This is awesome. Very, very cool box art. So if you missed out or did not get the original release and you like it, this is the one to have, because the box is super cool. Same story on the Spinosaurus from Jurassic Park 3, I believe. Very cool box, but again, model kit very much the same as the original release. Now, X Plus on new stuff that has not been released until now. The Bride of Frankenstein is finally here. So this is a very cool kit because you can build it one of two different ways, and you can build her in the mummy wraps, I guess you will, or her dress, her gown. And it's got the parts inside the box to do either one of those. Now, I hadn't opened this up and looked yet, but from what I understand, I think you can build both figures out of the box. The only thing that you don't get but one of is the display base and the background and all that kind of stuff. So if you're handy with your scratch building skills, I guess you could build your own base and have two figures out of the box. But I got to open this thing up and confirm that. That's just what I've heard. But maybe by next week I can give you guys an answer on that, if that is in fact something that you're interested in. Now, you're seeing here what I was talking about, all these images coming soon. I was getting all this stuff added. I mean, the email I sent out, you saw it was at the end of the day anyway. I was getting ready to leave, and it just wasn't happening. So I went ahead and unhid all these anyway. some of this stuff, you probably have no idea what it is without a picture, but some of it you do. I mean, this is Dragon's Horton 229 48 skill kit. All these Dragon kits, just like everything else they've been doing lately, these are all reissues. Now, in some cases, they are updating some things and adding some 3D printed parts or brass barrels or whatever the case may be. But for the most part, all these Dragon kits are the exact same kit as they used to be, again, with perhaps some updated parts included. But all sorts of Dragon stuff came in, and I'll be working on getting all the pictures on these soon. But in addition to the Dragon, lots of other things too. Ming and Vespid's got a couple of new releases that we finally got. This one is very cool to me. This Model Collect kit. If you saw the email I sent out, I made a little joke about myself liking weird stuff. Specifically talking about the Dora, and this is like right up my alley because it's just cool and weird, but it's also a very big kit. This thing is a monster for 72 skill. So look at this thing. It is and it's heavy too. It's a big old hunk of plastic. So this will absolutely be getting opened up and gone through. So I'll be able to show it off to you guys soon. It's just a big old model kit, and Model Collect is the company that makes this. Model Collect has been more and more lately kind of going by fist of war for all of this wacky, made up, what if, paper models, as they will, only ever existed in paper. But all that kind of futuristic or, 1946, the war never ended kind of stuff that they're doing, they're putting it under this Fist of War name brand. And it's technically still Model Collect, but like on these, they've just kind of dropped that logo off of the front of the box. But you'll still find their logo on the side of the box. So that's still the same company. They're just kind of trying to branch out their branding, I guess. I don't know, whatever they're doing, that's their thing. But if you hear me ever talk about it being Model Collect, but it plain as day says Fist of War, that's what's going on. It is Model Collect, but that's their Fist of War brand. Hobby Boss has a couple of new kits that are pretty cool. The 72 scale TBM 3 Avenger that kind of has been talked about a little bit. But those finally came in. I actually was not expecting those this soon. But lo and behold, there they were. So those are here. And then they've got a new 48 scale FA-18E, which I assume is based off of their previous tooling that they had for that. Let's see. Ryefield, new Tigers and whatnot. Great Wall. I've got some. These don't have pictures. I've got pictures of the one that I thought was really neat. Actually, I've got one of them here. The C-130H, the Hercules. Those are here. They're in 1/144 scale, which is kind of cool because I guess I can just pick 144 scale over here. Here it is. It's pretty neat because we don't get a lot of new stuff in 1/144 scale, and there's actually a lot of customers that really like this scale, especially for a big aircraft like this. It's not as small as you would think, and they're able to do really, really good detail on this stuff. I mean, if you can imagine the detail that these manufacturers are putting out in 1/700 scale now on ship models, you can get a lot of good detail in a 1/144 scale aircraft. So they're very nice kits. The Vickers Valiant B. This is also 1/144 scale. They're here now. So Great Wall. Great Wall is still a relatively new brand for us. This is, I don't know, the second or third shipment from them that we've got, and but I really like everything they've got going on now. We also got let's see, Great Wall. We also got some of their other kits that had previously been released that we just simply had not got yet. I know this was a great kit, their Devastator float plane, and they've got a few other nice kits that have been out a while, but we just never had Great Wall Hobby as a brand that we represented until recently. So very happy to have all of that in stock now. Let's see what else. There was some other cool stuff that came in. Oh, let's see. All right, this came in and they pretty much immediately sold out. The Classy Hobbies 1/16 scale M8 howitzer. These were, I don't know, they sold a good bit better than we were expecting, and they're gone. So we'll get some more. I'm getting a lot of people asking about those, so I may put those up for a wave 2 pre-order like we do from time to time. But those are cool. But like I said, they all are gone, so I didn't even get a chance to look at those. These Kuba wagons from Ming, they finally came in. I think this is a good old classic case of me being late to the party again. But we finally do have them, and glad that they're here. Yeah, even see some dinosaurs showing up. What else do we got? Okay, so here's some of the new colors that we got ready this week. So there are several different shades of olive drab, as most of you probably know. This is the number 9, which was used from 41 to 43, or before 43, anyway. And this is what the U.S. Army used for their vehicles and tanks and whatnot. Those are ready to go. The White Star line, which is the Titanic colors, we had most of them ready, but the buff color, which is used for the funnels on the Titanic, that one for whatever reason did not make it in the first batch, so it's ready now. And here's the Israeli sand. That's the color I sprayed on the inside of my B-24 last night. So those are ready. And let's see, next page. Oh, I didn't know these were ready. I guess they are. So we have our first wash is available now, the black wash. And look at that, no picture. And I don't have one here. Oh well, they come in the reason the price is higher than the paint is they come in the larger bottles like the thinner does, and like the flat, or the well, this one's flat, like the clear coats do. So the clear coats, they are done, but we're still testing them and making sure everything is like it's supposed to be. So this is what they will look like, and hopefully we'll have them ready by Wednesday next week. We'll have the matte flat, the gloss, and what's this? The semi-gloss. What's this? It's the only other one. So those will be coming, and the washes are in these same bottles. And we've got, I think, 5 or 6 washes. We've got a black, a dark gray, a light gray, a white, a burnt umber, and one other one, maybe brown. I think brown is the 6th one. So those will be coming down the line. Here is the zinc chromate yellow that we were talking about. So that's ready now. And this is the Nakajima green, the IJN color. And here is the interior green for the US planes. So those are this week's color additions. Hopefully we'll have some more next week. We'll see how it goes. Moving on down the line here, there is the Neverland victories that we were talking about. These are here, and they're very, very cool. So I hope you guys are excited about this. Neverland, they are excited about this. They have plans to do more sailing ships like this. I don't know which ones that they want to do next. They've told me a ton of them they want to do, but who knows what they'll pick next. But if this is a home run like they're hoping it will be, I'm sure that we will see more sailing ships in that scale from that line. So we'll see how that goes. The Super Cobra from Trumpeter, got those here now. This one is not a new release, but we put it in the new releases for this week because the first batch of them that we got sold out pretty much immediately. So they're back in stock now for anybody that did not get in on the pre-order back when they first came out. Dragons, Pennsylvania, there you see it, and next should be their Arizona. Yeah, there it is. The next round of Dragon ship model re-releases in 700 scale are here. The Arizona, Pennsylvania, the LPD, New York, and of course the Pinckney and the San Diego. Those are all finally ready. Let's see, there's the Ford, the Japanese battleship Yamato. These are finally here from Border Models. Now, if you have been following this this model kit, if you've been following it, then you may know this, but it was announced a long time ago, earlier last year, and you started seeing them appear in a few places. Probably saw some videos of them, some pictures of them, and then all of a sudden they disappeared. Well, the thing is that they had a problem, an historical accuracy problem with the. I don't know. Maybe it was the hull. I forget. It's a pretty big deal, and basically it was wrong. And instead of just letting it go, they went back to the drawing board. They fixed the problem, but that caused all sorts of delays. And thankfully, we did not get any of those original ones. I mean, I don't know if 0 of those existed or if a whole production run. I really don't know, but we didn't get any. And we got them now, and these are the corrected ones. So, and I'm only saying that in case you've been following that story and you're worried that if you buy one from me, are you going to get the right one or the early wrong one? No, this is the new one, brand new, fixed, and it should be good to go. So we'll wait and see, and hopefully get the chance to open these up and maybe compare it to the Verifier kit, and then compare it to King Tamiya, because for the longest time, Tamiya was kind of the only game in town for a Yamato. And Tamiya themselves even retooled a new Yamato to replace their older one, and that kit is just fantastic. And then now all of a sudden we got 3 really, really nice choices for Yamato. So it'll be very interesting to, hopefully compare these 3 at some point down the road. But those are here now. The F-16 Viper demo team from Kinetic. I don't know why that still says pre-order, but they're here. I'll fix that tomorrow. But we got a few of those, and I'm going to skip this one for a second. The Border Models Kate, not the Kate. The original version was the Kate. If you got their Kate and Akagi bridge kit, this 0 and Akagi bridge is the exact same Akagi bridge kit that was included in the Kate set. But this time, of course, you're getting a 0 instead of Kate. And then, as Border likes to do, they also offer the kit of the plane, the 0, by itself. So these are here. They're huge. You can see it. If you never saw the original version, that's it there. It's a pretty big box. And the reason I mentioned that it's a big box is just to give you an idea of how big a 1/35th scale aircraft carrier bridge and flight deck is. So it's a pretty cool thing. Here's a picture of it. If you've not seen these before, it's not the whole aircraft carrier, of course. That is what you get in the box. So you get that much of the carrier deck and the bridge, and it's enough room for the plane to sit right there in front of it. So it's a pretty neat kit. They've been doing this kind of stuff lately. Well, since they started, really, with that U-boat sectional that they did. So I'm excited. I hope they continue doing things like that, because having even a small section of a ship in 35th scale is, in my opinion, really, really cool. So now the one that we skipped over there, this is kind of one of the big things that I perhaps didn't realize was going to be a big deal, but it ended up being a pretty popular kit. So this is Gecko Models. If you know Gecko Models, they've been doing a lot of cool stuff lately. They're the ones that did that air cushion. that I showed you a few minutes ago. And these are the Otter, which is an amphibious cargo carrier. And this is the early production. They've already announced a late production that will be coming down the line. I don't know, I guess in the next few months. I don't have an exact date on that. Again, Chinese companies getting back to work from taking a long holiday. So I'm sure we'll find out more information on that soon. But this is a cool little kit, very interesting. It's got photo etch parts in it and all that fun stuff that you kind of expect these days. But this is it. This is this is what you get: decals, photo etch, and of course these pictures on the side of the box are the ones I was just showing. But very interesting kit, and not something that we've seen before, really. So kind of cool. So grab those quick. I was just looking. Uh, I didn't have a lot of times when these new things come in, it doesn't tell you how many of them I have because sometimes we have like tons. Uh, and even when we have tons, if you've spent a lot of time on our website, you might notice that we never have more than 24 of anything. It's on purpose. I don't really need you guys to know that I've got 5,000 of a book left in stock. Or you don't need to know that I've got 100,000 sanding sticks, right? So we limit it to 24, but sometimes they don't pop up. But I just fixed that, so there we go. Yeah, I've got 6 of them left. Is all I've got left of the Otter. So grab those fast, and just like that 16th scale classy models kit, I'll have to put this back up for a wave 2 pre-order. So very, very cool stuff. Lots of things that came in. So make sure to check all that out and don't miss out on something that you've been waiting on. All right, let me jump back over here in the chat. Jason, it's good to see you tonight, and Wes. Let's see. Ed, good to see you tonight, man. And I'm glad to hear that you got your Titanic all set up over there, and looking forward to seeing some pictures of that. For you guys that don't know, Ed was working, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ed, and I know that there's probably tons of chats past this one. I'm kind of behind over here. But Ed was working with a group of guys, I think, or maybe it was just Ed, but I think he had a couple guys that they were working on a Titanic model it's on display somewhere, and they had to get it fixed. So glad to hear that you got that done. I'm looking forward to seeing pictures. Yeah, and there you go. He's going to send pictures for the next show and tell. Awesome. Let's see. See, Ted is here, and Dennis, and Matt, Lawn Care Novice, JL. Good to see all you. Howdy to you too, Mark. I saw your pictures you sent me of your hot sauce collection. I like hot sauce. Y'all probably think I'm crazy for making Squadron branded hot sauce, but I'm only doing it because I love it. Um, with Mark, I found a guy that likes hot sauce more than me. He sent me a picture of his hot sauce collection. It would make some of our model kit collections look small. Hey, Miami Dolphins is here. Good to see you tonight, buddy. Hadn't seen you in a long time. Glad to have you on here tonight. And Frank's coming to us again from Australia. Good to see you today, buddy. Scott, right down the road in Atlanta. Good to see you, man. David's here, and Robert, Dennis, E.V. Cronin. How are you, man? Too cold to paint. That is never a fun thing. Yeah. Not too fun at all. It's down here, it's not as bad as it used to be at my old house. It was always either too hot or too cold in my model room. It was like never perfect, but I don't know. Hopefully it'll warm up and you can get back to painting soon. Let's see. Here's Ed again. Oh, that Titanic he was working on was 196 scale. That's a big one. Yeah, I can't wait to see pictures of that. Charles, good to see you tonight. The other Charles, good to see you tonight, buddy. All right, the way is here. Dave, good to see you tonight, buddy. I owe you an email. I've been that thing we were talking about. I've been working on it for you, and I'll have it to you soon. You'll like it. Charles, good to see you tonight. In 411 coming to us from up in Canada. Good to see you, man. Ricky up in Cookville. Miami Dolphins, are we getting any more Royal Class P40s? Unfortunately, no. They are awesome. I hate that you missed out. Some of these limited kits, when you guys see them go up for pre-order, you got to jump on it fast. Now, I will not be getting more because they are sold out and discontinued. And for the most part, Edward pretty much sticks by their discontinue. They're discontinuing of kits. They rarely reissue them after they say they're limited. They have been known to do it. Most recently with their B-17 Bloody 100th. But I think a lot of the reason that they redid that one is I think they didn't realize they had oversold their initial run, so they kind of had to make more to fulfill their initial orders. So as long as you're making more, you might as well make more, right? But from what we understand, this guy is gone. Now, the good thing is you can still get this P40 just not in the Royal Class flavor. They've got, here it is, they're the Pacific Star set, as they're calling it. So this is still a limited edition kit, so jump on a pre-order quick. But it's going to be a dual kit just like this one. So the Royal Class has two P40s in it. This Pacific Star set is also going to have two kits in it, and the decals are it's got 10 different decal options. And as you can imagine from the name, they're all Pacific Theater themed decal sets. But those are up for pre-order, and they'll be here probably within the next few weeks. I think they're done with them or close to done with them. So they'll be jumping on a container boat soon. So, like I said, no more Royal Classes. Now, you guys keep this in mind. If you're wanting the Royal Class, go over here, stick your email address in to be notified if it comes back in stock. No promises, but we've got a handful of them that were ordered with pre-orders, but the customers have not paid their invoices yet. Now, I don't want to be that guy and cancel somebody's invoice on them, and then they miss out. But at some point, I can't wait any longer than I can wait, right? So at some point here in the next, I don't know, week or so, if they hadn't paid, I've got to cancel the order, and whoever is next in line gets it. So stick your email in that box. Now, the thing to know about this email is it's a first come, first serve. If I get 5 of them that are left over, or 10, or whatever the number happens to be, they're going to go in stock, and that thing is going to automatically send everybody on that list an email. And at that point, it's first come, first serve. Whoever buys it first gets it. So there, again, everybody might pay their invoice tonight, especially if you're listening to me and you realize, oh, I better pay for it. And so I may not have any left. I may end up with one. I may end up with a couple dozen. I really don't know. But if you're wanting this from us, that's your best shot at possibly getting one. So I just thought of that. So there you go. These Squadron hats, we are working on those. So this is all a part of this humongous list of things that I have to do. That thankfully I check off 1 or 2 things every day. The paint has been the big one for the last couple of months, and that's kind of sort of almost on autopilot now, except for getting to test it out. But that's the fun part, right? So next up on the list is getting the 3D print stuff. I mentioned we were going to talk about that. Getting the 3D print stuff going again, and it is now underway. We've got some time ahead of us before you start seeing things for sale on the website, but it is in progress now. And once that kind of gets gets rolling, that'll be a never ending thing. We're always going to be adding new products to the 3D print line, right? But once that kind of gets rolling and we start having some things to sell, the next thing on my to-do list is kind of a fun one for me, and it's making things like hats and shirts. So you see I'm wearing ICM has their B26 shirts, which, by the way, these are for sale on our website. Valeria hooked us up with being able to buy these from us. She brought these to nationals this year, and they're kind of popular. Everybody want them. They have this gray one, there's a black one, and there's a white one. Maybe I'll wear another one next week so you could see it. But when we sold them all at the show, so when we got home, we had some people asking. So we said, hey, can we buy them? And you send them along with your orders. So they figured it out, and now we have ICM B26 shirts. So we'll see what else they do. But we want to make all sorts of Squadron stuff just for fun. And it's kind of like hot sauce. I'm just doing it because I want to. But hey, if some of you guys want hats, that'll be awesome. I'll have them available, and we can hook you up. Ron is here. Good to see you tonight, buddy. I did get your sample that you sent of the Mountbatten. Man. All right. Help me out, Ron. Anyway, I got your sample of the pink. And very cool. It's a lot more purple than I was thinking it was, but Mountbatten pink, whatever. Very cool. So we'll get Jeff on that, and hopefully have Mountbatten pink in our arsenal at some point soon. So I appreciate you sending that over. Let's see. Ron, going back to that TBM3 from Hobby Boss, I don't know for a fact, but I am pretty confident that it's a new tool. It's not really Trumpeter and Hobby Boss's style to use other people's tooling. I could be wrong. I'll have to look at it. I don't have one with me. I didn't bring one home, so I'll have to check it out and see. But I would be very surprised if it's not an original tool from Trumpeter and Hobby Boss. Let's see. Oh, going back to that triplane, I forgot about that, David. Hasagawa did a 1/8 scale DR1 way back. That was a big kit. I remember those. I had forgotten. Thanks for bringing that up, David. I have no idea where you'd find one of those. I hadn't seen one in years. Our 700 scale Lexington class battle cruiser. That one, it is slowly, but surely in progress. Emphasis on slowly, but it'll get done at some point. So I don't have any updated pictures or anything like that to show off at the moment. So hopefully we'll be able to report back more on that at some point soon. But right now it's kind of just in process. The designer that's working on it, he's making progress from time to time, but we'll get it when we get it. Let's see. Yeah, Scott, the last iterations of the hats back before we got Squadron, they did. This thing here on my hat is embroidered on, but the previous hats that they were selling had a patch, and it was Velcro. You could swap the patch out with. I think Ed Grun sent me some of the patches. Actually, they had like the Squadron Eagle. I think there was an American flag. A couple of other options too. I think you could do, but it was neat. Ken, good to see you tonight, buddy. Better late than never, right? Glad you could make it. The Fords going to Europe in containers, buddy. I am unfortunately I don't know. We do not have. We don't send containers of them to Europe. That would be on whatever trumpeter, importer, and distributor in Europe. You know, surely there are some, but that would be a question for them. Uh, I can ship one to you, but the price of shipping that big old thing would probably knock both of us out of our chair. If you want to email me, I am more than happy to get a quote for you, but just know that it's going to have to go UPS. That's the other thing that drives me nuts lately. The post office, and I don't know how new it is or if they've changed it, but they have this size restriction now. And there's a lot of kits that I can't ship post office overseas anymore. And it's frustrating because we used to ship everything post office overseas because it's so much not quicker, but cheaper than UPS and FedEx and even DHL. But on something like the Ford, it's just not an option anymore. We got to do it with one of the FedEx or UPS or whatever. So again, surely some of your distributors over there will get them at some point, but I couldn't tell you when. And if you got to have one now, I can hook you up. But like I said, the UPS fee is kind of up there, just being honest. But email me your address and I'll be happy to tell you what it is. That way you'll know. Oh, good to see you tonight too, buddy. Yeah, dodge the tornadoes, man. I hope everybody stays safe for sure. Never like it when weather like this is coming through. Matt Johnson ordered one of the victory kits, doing it up with the Squadron paint. Awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing it. It's just a really neat kit. It does. You open it up and it doesn't look like it's going to take very long to build, which sometimes is a very welcome thing. Just get something built, and get it on the table or on the display shelf to be able to look at it. Let's see. Yeah, going back to the talking about the Airfix B24s. That's right. The new one that they've got coming is the D model. It's going to be awesome. Scott, next weekend. Yeah, let's talk about this for a second. So next weekend, if you are in the Atlanta area or anywhere within driving distance, I guess we can say. And by the way, all of this stuff I'm trying to put up on our website now under this friends and shows tabs. This is just some of the guys that we either are real good friends with and we kind of sponsor or they really promote Squadron is really kind of what it is. So check these guys out, the Modeler Social Club, of course, the Plastic Model Mojo. You guys know them. We've had them on the show before. The World of Armor Facebook group, modelwarships.com. Of course, a long-time model ship community. The Clubhouse, that is for figure models and monster models. If you're into any of the X Plus kind of stuff, you will find a lot of friends there. And Ace of Spades Model Works, it's a cool community that's going on now. And right now, they are doing a they're calling it the Heavies. It is a online model contest, I guess, and you can visit their Facebook page for details on it. But basically, build a heavy bomber between now and I forget the cutoff date. You got a few months, and it's an online contest. They've got some judges that are going to do it. However they do that, and you got a lot of prizes too. And Squadron is sponsoring one of those prizes. We're sponsoring the Best Allied Bomber, so that'll be very cool. So check that out. Anyway, back to what I originally was going to talk about, the model shows. So these are the 6 model shows that we go to pretty much every year, or at least we try to, unless something comes up. The 3 big ones being the IPMS Nationals, the Wonderfest, which I consider a national show. I mean, when you can have 1,100 sci-fi and figure models in the contest, it's a pretty big show. I mean, 1,100 models on the table, and it's all sci-fi and figures. I like it. So that's cool that we go to. And then the AMPS Nationals, the armor Model Club Nationals. But then we have a few local shows here, Atlanta and Chattanooga being what I refer to as local. And next weekend is the AMPS and Atlanta Figure Society show. So the AMPS Club, of course, the Armor Modeling and Preservation Society, and then the Atlanta Figure Society. They is two different clubs, but they get together. They join forces and put on a show together. And this show takes place next weekend. The AMPS show, they advertise it as Friday and Saturday because they do their awards Saturday. The figure guys, you will see that this one is promoted as Friday, Saturday, and Sunday because they do their awards on Sunday. So the show is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Like any other show, the big day is Saturday. But if you are in the area or if you're just itching to get to a model show, come check that out next weekend. We will be there, or at least we intend to be there. And to answer your question, Scott, yes, we will be bringing our rack of squadron scale colors, and it will be somewhere between half and 75% full. We will not have every color available there yet, but we will have what we have. So make sure to come check that out. We'll have the other thing that I do at this AMP show, just so you guys know, if you've ever seen us at a show before, we do the AMP show a little bit different. So throughout the year, we get returns that are damaged. Maybe UPS stepped on it, or when we get shipments in from overseas, sometimes things get damaged. Whatever the case may be, we accumulate a pretty big scratch and dent section throughout the year. And everything we sell on our website is brand new stuff, right? I think somewhere on our page, I typed out this thing of, a percentage of it being damaged or whatnot. And basically, if it's not almost perfect, we don't want to sell it to you guys as perfect, right? So this scratch and dent collection, it just piles up all year long. The Amps and Figure show in Atlanta, that's where I take the stuff and we just kind of throw it out on the table, and it is what it is. Look through it because some of it might just be the box is crushed. Some of it, there may be a sprue missing. I don't know, but we price it to move it because I like to take it down there and I don't like to bring it back. So just keep that in mind. That is going to be the majority of what we take with us next weekend is our scratch and dent section. The only things that we will take that are not scratch and dent, like I said, we'll have our paint there. We're going to have a few, and I don't know what yet. We're going to have a few examples of our 3D print line that's upcoming. I don't know if I will have any that are able to be sold or if it'll just be samples to see, probably a little bit of both. But I probably won't have any of our ship model stuff there because it's not really a ship model show. With any luck, we will have some of our 35th scale tracks, which will be branded as Squadron tracks, which were previously offered by Jeff Hearn under his SC3D line. Those are being rebranded into Squadron tracks, and we will have some of them available for sale because I've got one of about, 10 or 15 different ones in the office now. So those will be there. With any luck, we'll have a few of our figures. I know some of you guys that have been looking forward to our Birds of War figures, little 24 scale pinup girls based on nose art from bombers. Those are finally ready. So here's Lady Lil from a B-25. The only one we ever actually got produced that you may have already got is the Shoo Shoo Baby, B-17. And here is Little Miss Mischief, also a B-17. So we'll have some of that. We've got a line of 35th scale figures that have been planned for a while. Again, with any luck, we may have some of those there. So you'll get to see a few, kind of what's to come, if you will, in the 3D line. And then we will bring some of the newest of the new. I have some of you guys have specifically asked for me to bring some of these for you. So the few of you that have asked, I have your name on one. So I'll have that for you to pick up. And I may have, if I have any left by that time, I'll bring them, but I probably won't. So if you're going to the show and if you want me to bring you something, send me an email. Let me know what you want, and I will make sure we bring it with us. But outside of that, all we're really going to have is the scratch and dent and some of our proprietary stuff to show off. So just keep that in mind. We're not going to have our normal big setup that that you may have seen at other shows before. So, all right. Yeah, it looks like you guys are. I'm finally catching up to you guys talking about what we were talking about earlier with the scales, and yeah, Matt's talking about sometimes it's hard to visualize until you compare sprues, and that's true. I mean, one of the one of the craziest examples for me, and I'm sorry to always bring up a Doro railgun, but for me, this is a good example. So I built the 72 scale Doro railgun a few years ago, the Hobby Boss kit. And if you know that kit, it's a pretty decent sized kit. It's not small. I don't know. It's 2 or 3 feet long. So it's a big kit. So when I decided I wanted to build the 35th scale one, I'm thinking, okay, it's supposed to be twice as big, right? Well, twice as big is bigger than you think. I mean, well, that's why I don't want to go get that, but twice as big is not just twice as big this way and twice as big this. It's twice as big in every single direction that there is. So when I got the Dora, the main body of it now, the 35th scale, and you can see it back there on the thing. It's mostly assembled now, to at least to the point where you can kind of see how big it is. It's huge compared to the 72 scale version. It's not even close. So yeah, Matt, you sometimes you just in your mind how big it's supposed to be, but you don't really know until you see it. It's like when you go to the Nationals or one of the shows where there's a lot of. I mean, it can happen at any show, but at Nationals there's so many planes. You go look at the 72 scale B-17 versus a 48 scale, and then versus the 32 scale kit. The 32 scale kit is huge compared to the 72, and it's very interesting, when you sit back and just start thinking about, okay, how's that work? I mean, what's really nuts? Okay, 1/6 scale figures. That's something that I like doing, and a 1/6 scale figure. If you don't know what that is, think Barbie or GI Joe. 12 inches tall, roughly, is a 1/6 scale figure. And, 1/6, so 6 of those is supposed to equal me. Well, yeah, you could probably get 6 GI Joes and stack them up, and he's as tall as me. But imagine, okay, now you got to have 6 running this way and that way and this way. It's it's very cool. It's neat seeing this stuff, and that's why I think a lot of times one of my favorite categories to go look at the model shows are the dioramas and the vignettes, because when you add a figure, a person next to whatever it is you're building, it gives a sense of scale, because we all know how tall that guy is supposed to be in real life. So, you can go look at a B-17 model, and, if you've seen one in real life, you know how big it is. But some of these subjects that we're building, we've never seen any. You know, I've never seen the Doro railgun in real life, and you haven't either. So when you see these models that we build and they put a figure beside it, it really gives you a sense of, oh wow, that's how big or that's how small that really was. And it's really cool to me. I don't know. Yeah, and Tom, that's a good point too. A lot of people get that confused. The smaller the scale is, the larger the item is. Um, going back to that 1/6 scale figure. If you were doing a 1-to-1 scale figure, he'd be as tall as you and me. Uh, so it's cool. A lot of time, a lot of people get that mixed up. Sometimes they're thinking the bigger the number, the bigger the model is, but it's the reverse. Uh, there's another question about squadron hats. I guess I need to bump that up my to-do list a little bit further. I'll try to get them done soon. Hey, Jose, how are you, buddy? Good to see you again. Really enjoyed looking at your model last week. Hopefully, you can get some more sent to us sometime soon. That was awesome. Glenn, good to see you tonight, man. Going back to what we were talking about earlier, the paint colors. Yeah, you know, if you don't know, you don't know. And that's one of the fun things about this hobby for me is learning. Um, heck, I don't know everything, not even close. Uh, I mean, just a minute ago, I forgot that this was called Mountbatten Pink. I'm learning. This is just an interesting thing to me, and now I'm reading all about it and learning it. So yeah, if you don't know, you don't know. But for us in this hobby, if you don't know, that's an opportunity to learn something, and usually we have a good time learning. That's half of the fun of building some of this stuff. For me, this is a new one for me. When I was excuse me, when I was describing this kit earlier, you might have seen me staring at it a little bit more because I don't know much about this. It's a new kit, and I want to learn about this. It's very cool. It's an interesting looking vehicle to me, so I'm looking forward to learning more about it. Hey, Lady Knievel, how are you tonight? The Ford invoices, they have gone out. So if you don't have yours, please send me an email and tell me you don't have it, and I'll go find it and I'll send you the direct link because they are ready to head your way. You're going to love it. Let's see. Yeah, I'm way behind on chats tonight. I'm sorry, guys. I'm kind of fast forwarding through a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, Chris Decker talked going back to that Land Cruiser. Yeah, battleship turrets on a tank track. That thing is just massive. I think it was Tacom, if I remember correctly, that did one in 144 scale, and even that was a big kit. It was neat because it came with the mouse tank, the humongous, you know, tank, I guess, or whatever it was. It came with one Land Cruiser, and I think it came with two of the German mouse tanks, which those were big too. But sitting next to the Land Cruiser, they looked tiny. All right. Jason, updates on the catalog. That is also one of those things on my to-do list. But the good thing is, just this week, I got kind of back focused on finishing that up. So I don't want to throw out any dates yet, but it's a lot closer now than it was a week ago because up until this week, it was kind of on the back burner just a little bit, just a little bit. But it's kind of full steam ahead again, and hopefully we'll get it knocked out. We've been telling people April. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that's kind of our target. So again, I don't want to throw out any exact dates, but that's kind of what we're looking at the moment. Just scrolling through here, the very fire kits. We were talking about Yamatos a few minutes ago, and let me look. I know that we got Yeah, so here it is right here. Yeah, there's the Verifier version. They just came back in stock. So the deluxe version of Verifier's Yamato is here too. So, like I said, you've got choices: Verifier Yamato, Border Yamato, of course, good old Tamiya. They've and to even Tamiya has a couple of versions. So Tamiya has their original Yamato. They have their brand new, like really awesome Yamato, which is this one, and then they have uh, this one, which is, to my understanding, their original Yamato hull and whatnot. And then they took some of the new tool parts off of their fancy kit and kind of did a mashup, if you will. So this one's way better than their original version, but still nothing compared to their all that in a bag of chips version. But any of these kits are going to be great. We've just got to take a look and see. The thing about the Verifier and even the Border kit is they've had this kit from Tamiya to study. So you would think that they would make sure to one up Tamiya, if you will. So it will be very interesting to find out who is the king of the Yamato kit. But any of them are going to be a good choice. Honestly, they can really build up into a nice kit. Yeah, Bernard, I hope you find something that you got to have, buddy. Let's see. Michael Fuller, that Viper, it is actually it's in stock. I don't know why it still says pre-order, but uh, I'll go in there and get that fixed here while I'm thinking about it. Should be able to do that pretty quick. All right, there you go. You can go order it without it saying pre-order now. So sorry about that. All right. And Paul Westonsko, yes, Ford is in stock. They are in stock, ready to go, as long as UPS brings the big truck from now on, like they said they're going to. And that was a joke. If you missed the beginning of the show, they all the Ford pre-orders wouldn't fit on the UPS trucks the last couple of days. So, but they're supposed to be bringing a bigger truck to us from now on. So we'll see. Ken, nothing new in 700 scale from Trumpeter this time, but on the next one, I believe we're getting that. Oh man, which one is it? Hold on, we're getting. I think 350th scale Ohio is next, and then there's a 700 scale modern something. Oh yeah, the Jeanne d'Arc, the French Navy helicopter cruiser. We're getting that, and then they have a Queen Elizabeth as well, but I think that's later. Um, but the next one we'll be getting is that Jeanne d'Arc, or however you say that. Another one of those French names I can't pronounce. Sparky Jim, aftermarket stuff for the Ford. I'll answer this question kind of in general terms for any new kit, whether it's the Ford or anything else. The aftermarket companies, you got to remember, they usually don't get kits any faster than any of the rest of us do. And in fact, a few of the aftermarket companies that we work very close with, they don't get the kits until we send them one. In fact, I am sending the Ford kit, I believe, to one aftermarket company in particular. So it's kind of like I assume that it's kind of like the car industry. You know, nowadays there's very few things that you need to replace in your car. Back when I was a kid, it was like super popular to upgrade your stereo and your speakers and all that kind of stuff, right? Man, I wouldn't touch the stereo system in my truck now because, or well, not mine, my wife's. My wife's the one that gets the new cars, uh, because everything in there is great. Because if the aftermarket company gets to sell you something, the manufacturer doesn't get to make the money on it. And a lot of times it's the same thing with these model kit companies, and that's why you're seeing more and more what we would traditionally consider aftermarket stuff. Photo etch, for example, being the biggest thing for ship models. The trumpeter kits, they're coming with more and more and more photo etch because trumpeter knows that we, the customer, want that stuff. And if they don't put it in there and charge accordingly, then we're going to go out and buy, gold medal or Pontos or Edward or whoever it is. And Trumpeter didn't make any money on that. So these factories know that stuff. So my point in saying that, Trumpeter's not just sending these kits out to the Pontoses and we're gold medal. I didn't get a kit to do that. Got a kit for other reasons, but if you understand what I'm saying, the manufacturers, a lot of times they may not necessarily really want to help the aftermarket guys get in any quicker than they want. They'd rather do it themselves. Now that's not the case everywhere. You will notice a lot of guys work really close together. Sometimes, specifically over in the European market, you'll see a lot of those guys kind of working together from time to time. I don't know how much of it they want known, so I won't say much, but I know several of those factories that they work together. One factory will make this company's photo etch parts, and this factory will make that company's decals for them. So a lot of times the manufacturers, especially in the European area, they do work together because they're producing kits and they're producing aftermarket. They're kind of doing it all. But over in the China stuff, they're not. Like take Edward for example. They make their own kits. They make their own aftermarket. They make everything. They're kind of like, you know, everything in under one roof kind of thing. So they're not worried about it. But the China guys, Trumpeter, they didn't start that way. They started out with just plastic kits, but you're seeing it more and more now. So I don't know. Long way of answering your question. There will be stuff coming out for the Ford, but it's just not going to be real quick. Stuart, you can build me a Lexington. I appreciate it, buddy. Hopefully we'll get this one. We've got one. I don't know, 75% of the way there, and we'll get it. We'll get it. Hey, Bill, good to see you tonight, man. Yeah, going back to the shipping the Ford overseas, you were the postage going to the UK would be as much as the kit. You were probably not wrong. Probably not. It's we the worst example was we had a guy that wanted to buy a Dora railgun. Going back to this Dora, I just can't stop talking about it, right? Uh, but he wanted, I forget where he was, but whichever country he was in, they did not have a distributor there for it, and it was silly how much it was going to cost to ship the Dora railgun to him. I can't remember if he ended up doing it or not, but uh, it was hard. I had never seen a UPS quote that was four numbers long. It was outrageous. But you know, it just it is what it is these days. I mean, it cost just to ship all those Fords. Of course, everybody that bought them from us, you get free shipping, right, for $200. But hopefully, we all know that free shipping is not really free shipping. And I mean, it cost several dozen just to ship one from one side of the country out to California. It's nuts. I mean, you can't look how much stamps are, and the the catalog, for example. So our catalog, 5 pounds. And everybody wants to know, oh, the catalog's $20 or $25 or whatever. The majority of that is shipping because they won't let us ship it with what do they call it? Media mail. They won't let you ship it with media mail because it's technically advertising, and that doesn't qualify under media mail. So we get to pay for a 5 pound package, and that can be anywhere from $10 to $20 just in the shipping. Just nuts. But it is what it is, and we all got to have our model kits. So we'll do the best we can to keep the prices as low as we can. But well, guys, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I appreciate you hanging with me so long. Again, next week, next weekend, come to the Amps and Figure Show in Atlanta if you live anywhere near here. It'll be cool. It'll be nice to see you. And if you don't make it there, I really hope you're planning on coming to one of the big shows. Perhaps the IPMS Nationals is, in my opinion, the biggest show. And we will certainly be there. We'll put on a huge spread there. Got a few surprises for that show planned. We'll see how many of them we can get pulled off in time. So it'll be cool. I'm looking forward to seeing y'all somewhere at a show this week or this year. And our retail store, by the way, we're about to open. We've finally got the approval, and our business license has been applied for, and we should be allowed to open any day now. So as soon as that happens, I will certainly let you know. And I hope if you live anywhere around here, you will come for a visit. So y'all take it easy. I will see you next Wednesday night at 9 o'clock. And y'all get out of here. Go build a model. Take it easy.